Welcome to the Say It Out Loud podcast. I'm your host, Vasavi Kumar. If you're eager to gain clarity, speak with unwavering confidence, and liberate those inner voices, you're in the perfect spot. My mission here is to empower you to break free, find fulfillment, and ignite your passion. You ready? It's time to say it out loud. I've put together a guide of my top 10 tested and proven to work practical strategies and habits to help bright women like you say no, set your boundaries right, live confidently, and build healthy relationships, starting with the relationship you have with yourself. This is a self-paced guide, and I can't wait for you to dig into it so you can start becoming your most confident self, because she's in there waiting for you. Head to the link in my show notes or go to vasavikumar.com/guide and grab it today. Welcome back to another episode of the Say It Out Loud podcast. It's me, Vasavi. I am here again, recording in my sound booth in my office, and I am really tickled by it. I'm really tickled by it because the quality of sound for me in my earbuds right now is so clear. So I'm really hoping that you enjoy this conversation as well as we go through the next few minutes. I don't know how long this episode is going to be. One of the things that I promised myself when I restarted the podcast is I was going to allow myself to be unscripted and unedited because, number one, that's what I tell everyone else that they should allow themselves to be. And I'm like, why am I not giving myself that same permission to be unscripted and unedited and trust in what I know? Trust that the words coming through me and out of me are the exact words that need to be coming through me and out of me to help at least one person who may be listening. So that's where we are today. We are in our sound booth and we are recording this new episode. I got a lot of feedback from the episode that I shared last week on bipolar depression and chasing success and learning to be gentle with ourselves. I've hesitated speaking about my experience living with bipolar disorder because, to be really honest with you, I don't know how much of my audience lives with bipolar disorder. So I just always thought, well, if I share this, is this even relevant for people? But once again, taking my own advice, Vas, come on now. It's not about what's relevant for others. It's you speak what is relevant for you and what is on your heart, and the people who resonate with it will resonate. They'll find something to grab a hold on, because there's so much that I say in a podcast episode, no matter how long or short it is. I know that there are gems of golden nuggets and people will benefit no matter what. And so it's just trusting that, I'm just in a season where I'm trusting myself more and not second guessing the shit out of every little thing. Can we please stop second guessing every little thing, every word that comes out of our mouth, every desire that we have, every goal that we want to hit? Oh, is this too much? Can I do this? I don't know if I can do this. I mean, the amount of voices that I have in my head on the daily telling me how I should and shouldn't be. I mean, I'm impressed by me. I really am. And, if you're anything like me and you have a plethora of thoughts in your head telling you what you should do, micromanaging you, at any given moment, I just want to give you a round of applause. Here we go. This is me giving you a round of applause. For real, giving myself a round of applause right now because you know what? We were not given a manual how to be human. I don't know. I get up every day. I say thank you to God. That's the one thing that I do that I'm very proud of, that I do every day. I say thank you first thing in the morning. Thank you for another day alive. And then I put one foot in front of the other. And I have certain intentions and I, do what feels good for me and what's going to make me feel good and feel balanced in my own way, whatever that means for me. So it's just one day at a time, one moment at a time, and deepening our faith in ourselves and our higher power, whatever that looks like for you or whatever you want to say, God, the universe. I try not to get too tripped up with words. I say the word God. I really have an issue with the word God, but you can replace that for whatever feels right for you. I don't like to get caught on semantics. I really don't. I think it takes away from the message. That's part of the problem with a lot of stuff going on in the world. There's just too many play on words here and not enough of the truth being told. So anyway, before I go off into my sermon, let me bring it back. I want to just say it's a little weird right now being in this booth. I'm noticing my heart rate going up a little bit. Don't worry, I'm okay. I know how to regulate my breathing. But I'm just noticing that inside of this booth, it can get a little claustrophobic. And I don't think I have a phobia of small spaces at all, but I'm just like, wow, it's just me in here. Well, it's me and you. I hope you're listening, and I hope you've listened up until this point. See, that's the thing when you're unscripted. You know, I always want my podcast to have value. And so I have scripted and bulleted so much of my podcasts, which I think they make for great episodes. I'll probably have some episodes in the future where they're scripted or semi-scripted or bulleted and just have some stuff that I'm reading, you know, and keeping myself organized. But I also really like to give myself the permission and give others the permission to just free flow. Free flow and just see where your words take you, you know? And so that's how I recommitted back to my podcast again. I recommitted back to my podcast because I made a promise to myself I would allow myself to just flow and trust what came out of me and get myself back into the habit and practice of speaking again. See, I often chase the bigger bigger opportunities, right? And I get them. I get the keynote speaking engagements. I get being on stage, being interviewed on these podcasts. But I guess I didn't think my podcast was big enough yet. And I was like, well, what's the point even? And so for those of you listening, I'm just going to say this out loud, okay? Because many of you come to me and tell me that you want to start a podcast and you struggle with no one's even listening. Who even cares? Is anyone even listening? Or I'm not organized enough. My thoughts are not organized enough. I mean, I've heard it all. And I want to say this. I have the same exact thoughts, which is why I took I don't want to call it a very long hiatus because what is long or short? I mean, it's all relative. You know, I took a hiatus from my podcast basically in May or June of this year. And I struggled with all of that. Like, does anyone even care what I have to say? I mean, I wrote the book now. What is there for me to say? And I was like, I don't want to just be like always just giving lessons all the time, like step 1, step 2, step 3, tip 1. And I understand, like, I want to give tips. I want to be helpful. But I also just want to practice what I preach. And I want to embody what I preach, which is allow yourself to just speak unedited and unfiltered. Like, everyone needs a space to do that. And so that's what my podcast has become for me. It's just a place for me to speak. Allow myself to just say what's coming through me and not be on eggshells, not trying to be somebody else, not, handpicking every single word that I choose so that I come off the right way, more professional or more trustworthy or whatever persona we're trying to portray, right? I don't need to try so hard. You don't need to try so hard. We could just be your fabulous, amazing, kind, generous, adventurous, spontaneous self. I hope that resonates with you, and if it doesn't, take what does and leave the rest throughout this podcast, Where do I want to go to from here? So I am leaving for Colorado on Christmas Eve. That's what I'm doing for Christmas. I went to this cabin in Evergreen, Colorado, 2 years ago, and I wrote my book, Say It Out Loud, there. And the first round, like the first draft of writing the book, I wrote in this cabin. I went 2 Christmases ago, so 2 years ago. And this year I was contemplating, should I go to Colorado? Should I go to New York City? Because I love New York City. It's cozy, but it's kind of chaotic. And I love New York, Having lived 40 minutes away from New York City, I was raised on Long Island, so it's like a second home to me. I feel very comfortable in New York City. But I didn't want the chaos. I really didn't. It's great, but I just didn't want that for Christmas. I love it. I love New York. It's cozy, but it's I didn't want chaotic cozy. I just wanted cozy and calm. So I'm going back to these cabins. I ordered my groceries on Instacart. It's going to be delivered there. I don't have a big project or anything that I'm working on, so I'm just going to go to the cabin and actually relax. 2 years ago, I remember when I was going on this trip, I was like, oh, I'm going to write my book there. And I wanted those vibes. I wanted to write my book in the mountains. And then in January, I went to LA, Manhattan Beach, and I wrote my book by the beach, by Manhattan Beach. So that's where I was. But now I'm going back and I don't have an agenda. So let's see how Vas does on this vacation with no agenda. I have some books that I want to read. I have a book on investing. I have a book on the psychology of money. It's called The Psychology of Money. Another book on investing called Girls Who Invest. And I'm just super excited to delve into these books and just be with myself and see what comes up. I've been feeling a little bit at a crossroads. Okay, so if you're in a little bit of a crossroads, listen up. Okay. Whew, when you put out work into the world and then you're like, wait, what's next? For me, it's always what's next, what's next, what's next. And I'm very good at filling my space with stuff to work on. And I do very well like that. I accomplish it. I like having goals and deadlines. And when I don't have that, I literally don't know what to do with myself. So my psychiatrist and I spoke about how to schedule my downtime, like how to be ready for my downtime. So that's something that I'm working on, scheduling in more massages, scheduling in other creative projects. And I decided instead of having like new goals for 2024, I'm just going to nurture the shit out of what I've already worked on. So I want to nurture my book. I want to nurture my podcast. I want to nurture this booth that I'm using, that I'm recording the studio, and I want to use this booth. I want to feel like, just because I don't have voiceover auditions right now doesn't mean I can't use this booth. I'm using it for my podcast, and that's good enough. So these are all the things that I'm really working through and telling myself in the season, and it feels good. And it feels good because there's space. It feels good to have space to just let things flow and simmer. I love watching water simmer. Boiling is very aggressive for me. Boiling. But when I see the water simmering, it's just like little tiny bubbles at the surface, So, of course, I'm always thinking about food, and I love cooking. If you didn't know that about me, I went to culinary school. I'm a plant-based chef. So you can get me in any conversation about food. I will be right there with you. Oh, God. So this has been good. This has been good, allowing myself to free flow. I guess at this point, this is the part where I need to tell you. You know how all podcasts, it's like, okay, you're not promoting your stuff enough, blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, it's too many things to keep track of. But I do want to share this, that I do have a program. It is a group, actually. It is more than just a program. It is a group. It is a safe haven. It is a community. It is my 8-week Say It Out Loud group program. We begin January 16th. It's based off my book, but it's so much more than transforming the way you talk to yourself. It is about having a space for you to just air your shit, say what you want, listen, hear from others, learn from others, contribute by sharing your own wisdom. And of course, there is structure. I use the principles of my book to guide the conversations. I always said I wanted my book to be a reference, a resource, a guide you can come back to over and over again. I actually have a client that I'm working with, Sonia, and she said, your book is my life guide. And I was like, oh my God, I need you to say that out loud and capture that on video. If she's listening to this, Sonia, I hope you do that. Thank you. I'll remind you, don't worry. Oh, I love working with Sonia. She's great. She's working on a memoir, and it's just beautiful to just listen to people and their stories. That's what I really wanted this podcast to be. So, we're just wetting our feet again, getting back into the podcast game. And I'm here, unscripted, unedited. I'm proud of myself. Yay, Vas, you've gotten out of a little bit of a dumpy season. I was feeling little low, was not the best feeling. I'm out of it now. I feel myself getting out of it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I shared this in my last episode on bipolar depression. But anyway, man, it feels freeing to not worry so much about what other people think and what you're saying. So this practice of just allowing myself to be unscripted and unedited, without the fear of like, oh my God, did I say something that's going to offend someone, or did I do this? And it's just, wow, guys, this is cathartic. Let me tell you right now, I think that's what this feeling is. I'm like, damn, this feels good. Well, that's the kind of feeling you get when you're inside my group also. Okay, because you got to allow yourself, you got to experience it for yourself to be unscripted and unedited. It just feels, it's magical when you allow your voice to just go. Use your mind, use your voice, use your heart, and let it all come out of you, you know? So the Say It Out Loud group, we begin January 16th. I have 2 payment plan options. You can pay in full for $9.97. You can make 2 payments of $4.97 each, or you can make 3 payments of $333. So no interest added, kept it really super simple math, divided by 2, divided by 3. You can choose whichever payment plan works for you. Also, one of the biggest concerns that people have is time commitment, because y'all have a lot of stuff on your plate. So I just want to say what I said to somebody else in my DMs on Instagram. By the way, if you're not following me, my handle is my name is Vasavi. But someone said to me, like, I want to join the group. I'm just worried about the time commitment. And I said to her, listen, this group is not meant to be a burden. It's supposed to be a place of relief and reprieve. So think of this as your weekly dose of expressing yourself and just letting it out, and also learning from others. And it just re-emphasizes once again, you are not alone. You are not alone. You are not crazy. There is nothing wrong with you. And that's how I feel every time I leave my group calls. So that's why I created this community, and because I know what it feels like to feel all alone, but you need a safe space for you to say it out loud. So I hope you join us starting January 16th, 8-week program, Say It Out Loud. If you made it up until the very end, I want to say I love you. I want to leave you with this message that you are doing the best that you can right now. Trust that, and give yourself the gift of relief and reprieve and rest this holiday season. This is my last episode for 2023. I want to say thank you for re-listening to the podcast. I know I took a break, and I tried to fill some of the weeks by sharing some of my interviews that I've done on other people's podcasts. I didn't want to completely be gone from the podcast. So I just want to say thank you. If you're listening here for the first time, I'm going to keep on recording. If you've been a long-time listener of the Say It Out Loud podcast, I want to say thank you for being here. And I love you. And that's it, guys. I love you. It's an honor to be here. God is great. And I'll catch you next time on another episode of the Say It Out Loud podcast. Bye. If you love today's episode, then say it out loud. Subscribe, leave a review, and come say hi over on Instagram at My Name is Vasavi. Until next time, say it out loud.